Sekisho Corporation, as Nanjan quoted, is a
Mm-hmm.
corporation that brings us collaborated collaborated companies from Japan, so that
Mm-hmm.
we could go there and work for them. So Japan has a severe need for employees. Git and GitHub really helped us in many projects that we did as a team. We had a team of
It
four
it helps
in.
us a lot,
Right, right,
and that's one of the fundamental steps. Who is into development has to learn it.
right. So we started with a logo
Yeah,
like
this
this.
was this was our initial idea
Then
for coffee because we love coffee. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Elevated Podcast. If you're just tuning in, this is a tech podcast where we talk about the nitty gritty of technology. I am your host, Neelanjan Mukherji, and I am joined by my co host.
Rishit Jain.
And today, well, first of all, we are going to talk about our past experience on our pilot episode. So, what was your experience like, Rishit, on our past pilot episode that we just made last week?
Lanjan, according to me, the pilot episode, from filming it to posting it, was very surreal.
Yeah.
I remember while we were filming it,
Mm-hmm.
we were really like it was chill for us. We were
Yeah.
filming it, okay. It
Mm-hmm.
was till us only, but when it came down to editing it, then watching
I
ourselves
can.
multiple times,
Yeah.
then posting it out, it was so surreal. Like it was like
Yeah.
we were
It
all
was.
out there. What about you?
So, as you mentioned, hearing our own words the thousandth time, the million jillion time, it was good. It was a really good experience, and just going to say, I hate my voice now, and and the problem is that post production we were. This was the first time we produced everything for the Elevated podcast, and we had to make everything from scratch. So I believe the post production will be a lot of a hell lot easier than before
Hmm.
because we just have to know what our parts are, and we
Hmm.
have to produce it the way we want in the first place.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it was a really good experience. I learned a lot of stuff,
So did
and
I.
from Adobe After Effects to getting out of that anxiety where our thumbnails will be on the video, and everywhere our faces are going to be posted, and it is a big thing for me, at least for me. What about you, Rishit?
It is the same for me. We're sailing in the same boat, Lanjan. Like
Yeah.
from filming it to posting it, I still remember. Like
Mhm.
while we were editing it, we were editing
Yeah.
the portrait format reels, like the reels and the shots.
Oh my God! It was it was a really big thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
continue.
right.
Sorry.
So I still remember how we just had it while we were editing it, and like
Mm.
well, seeing our faces out there and thinking like we are sharing it on our stories, and like
Yeah.
people we know, the people who know us are going to see our this side of
Yeah. Yeah.
the technical side.
And
Yeah,
the most important part was what will they think about it?
of course.
What will be their feedbacks?
Yeah, right,
And I
right.
was eager for that. And
So was I, right.
generally the response was very good. I felt that we accomplished what we actually what our initial goal for this podcast was.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of stuff we have planned. So yeah. But what else do you think you saw in the pilot episode which you may or may not want to repeat it, or may want to keep it going?
Well, Nilanjan, being honest, it was our first episode, and it was the first time we were producing something this huge. So
Yeah.
mistakes were bound to happen.
Obviously,
Still know that there are so many things we did in the first episode, and we are amending in the while filming the second episode.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And
Hmm.
keeping that at a side, while
Hmm.
we are filming it, we know
Hmm.
that while we will take approach that uh, that reduces our mistake, so that while we are
Hmm.
editing it, we don't have to put in that much time in it, because our
Yeah,
crux of
because
the episode, our podcast is a technical podcast where we share in our technical details. What do you think about it,
yeah,
Nilanjan?
yeah. So exactly your point. That that's the main reason we thought of making a
Hmm.
podcast. That this format, we don't have to think about the post production as such.
Hmm.
But because we are perfectionist, I at least I feel so, because
Hmm.
we both of us did not sleep for at least 3 days
I
straight,
remember,
so
yeah.
that
Hmm.
we get the content out. And it took us a while.
Hmm.
And I think it was a marvel.
Yeah, right.
and
You know.
and we what we actually accomplished, like the animations, the small text animations, they
Hmm.
see, I have worked on them on After Effects and places in everything, DaVinci Resolve, all the I've worked from Filmora to DaVinci to After Effects, everywhere. But the problem is that doing all of the stuff on on a time crunch, in a
Hmm.
time crunch, is really difficult.
It is. It
And
is.
that is something new, and I
Hmm.
learnt it learnt it by collaborating with a friend, collaborating
Hmm.
with a team member.
Hmm.
That is something really new for me, because
Right.
content creation for me always has been something very personal.
Hmm.
And sharing that space was really new to me.
Hmm.
And I loved it when I shared with you,
Hmm.
because the thing was, we every time, not every team member, everyone gets a team member, like with a synchronized head,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
synchronized brain, and synchronized thoughts, which
Right.
is
Right.
very difficult in these times.
I do agree.
So yeah, that was my main basically take
Hmm.
from from the first pilot
Hmm.
episode, and from the reels and
Hmm.
everything that we made. So yeah, that was it.
I think we are well equipped to say that.
Mhm.
Of course, we need to take baby steps, and I think we did take the
Sure.
first step, and the response we got on the first video was very good. Like,
Yeah.
our friends and family, some new audience as well, viewed our reels, our
Mhm.
videos, and I think it's good. I think we'll grow with time if we are consistent, and if the audience you're watching likes us, if they
Yeah.
do. Uh,
Yeah, please do.
yeah,
But yeah.
this project was this project that we have taken is a really good initiative that we will try to bring some sort of a change with this, like
Yeah, we will surely flourish. We will
hmm,
surely elevate our podcast,
exactly.
so that you get a better experience and we get a better experience
Hmm.
making.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was the main thing.
Well, our main
So
motive would be to elevate our audience and ourselves. Okay,
yeah,
moving
that is it.
forward,
Yeah.
while talking
Mhm.
about project, so just a
Project.
insight to our audience. Uh,
Yeah.
we are in the 7 semesters of BTech. As some engineers out there must know, you need to complete a minor project in your 7th semester,
Yeah,
and if you don't,
we have.
well,
Mhm.
you need to complete a final project in your 7th semester. So,
Yeah.
Nandan, would you like to share some insights on your minor project, so that the audience
Sure, sure,
and
sure.
if a recruiter out there can see it and know it?
So I have worked on a lot of projects,
Mm-hmm.
but this time it was something really different.
Mm-hmm.
It was something which I have learned uh, a little bit from the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, with everything that the AI is booming,
Hmm.
so Gen AI is booming so much.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to dip my toes into
Hmm.
it and understand what it actually is.
Hmm.
So, from the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've been working on creating my own large language model
Hmm.
and training it. Right now, it's training. The things I've trained is literal
Hmm.
jargon. If I show the code, It is a corpus of the Wizard of Oz, because you can find a lot of text, and I thought of choosing that because it's classic. So yeah, and so my goal there is to make a small large language model where I train it and fine tune it in such a way that it can create new stories, just like with the theme of the Wizard of Oz. And that is something everyone has worked with. I have seen other projects where people have created an LLM where they have uh, took Shakespeare's every bit of information, every bit of uh, line from every sonnet, everything, all of Shakespeare's work, and they have made an LLM where it can create Shakespearean what do we say plays.
I see.
And it can create a whole playwright on its own with the theme, with your own theme.
Okay.
And that is something really interesting, which is a little bit, I mean, it is like a to-do list for LLMs, because what I feel is everywhere, if you're learning a new language, and by the way, learn large language models is not a language, it is just a new way of basically Gen AI's training thing. And I know Python, but if you want to learn Python, or if you want to learn any programming language, you need to know the ins and outs of it.
Right.
So to know any language's ins and outs, the first thing I make is a to-do list app. Because to-do list is something which has everything from a post request from every CRUD operation basically is involved. And just like that, to create a large language model, I have thought of this small project, yet something new.
Okay, so
And,
to our viewers, those who are not from the tech background, I would like to make you understand LLM, as Neelanjan quoted, is large language model, or in your words, I'm sure by now all of us who are watching this as well must know what ChatGPT and CloudAI, Gemini are. They are basically large language models. Okay, so my friend Neelanjan is working on a large language model. Okay, Neelanjan, so I would like to ask, could you explain our audience what exactly are you targeting with this LLM, and how is your progress going?
So the bigger picture is actually where I train the Constitution of India.
All right.
Basically. And with that Constitution, everything from laws, then n number of cases, and obviously it's gonna be terabytes of data, but I will try to condense to a level where I can work with from my place. And maybe if I get lucky, I will try to hook up some AWS workflow as well. But yeah, it requires a lot of money and resource. So I feel that's a little far-fetched. But my main idea is to create a large language model where I can give legal advice, where that LLM, that generative AI, can give responses and give advices on legal works and legal advices, from small things like ITR form returns to big things like a criminal case.
Okay, Neelanjan.
So that is what I think my goal is.
Okay,
but
sorry to be interrupting you. I would like to ask. Did you have any specific motive of choosing this project? And if yes, what was it?
So basically, the motive was really clear. There are a lot of cases pending, and I have I have personally never witnessed a case, but my family has sometimes, and I mean, I'm sure every family must have.
Of course.
Because courts and small matters like ITR returns are something that if not done right, they have to at least hear from the they need to get a legal notice.
Right.
And there have been cases like that. So I wanted to create basically something like that from Gen AI. If Gen AI solves it, I have no clue whether it does, but it is just a small step to basically give legal advices to anyone anywhere in India, at least right now. And that is something we need.
All right.
Because every
agree.
court needs,
I agree.
every the judiciary system needs it. And it may help the judiciary system. So, and the name which I found is Fiduciary AI.
All right, that's
So
a good
fiduciary,
name.
Yeah, fiduciary is basically, it means a person who is helping in the matters of legal, and it is actually a corporate term, but I reinforced it and made something new out of that name.
All right.
So yeah, so that was my main motive.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
What about your projects? You have to complete a minor project.
Yeah,
so
right.
what are your
Thank you for asking
your
that, Neelanjan.
projects?
So, to the audience who are tuning in for the first time, my major background is Python, and I have worked in NLP, AI, and machine learning. Sorry, I did mention ML, right? Or
Yes, machine learning.
I quoted right. Okay, so I would repeat it.
Yeah.
It's AI, ML, and NLP, natural language processing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have worked in some LLMs, and I thought of going to the next level. Well, my tech pals out there must know the image generators, some like Midjourney, DALL-E 3, DALL-E 2. All of these image generations, the generative AI part is a very costly route to take if you want to try it.
It is.
Yeah, right. And in my eyes, there are some free routes as well, like Firefly from Adobe and Copilot Designer. They are good as well.
Is Firefly free? Is it free?
I think to some extent. I think of course we do have
we
Adobe.
have Creative Cloud.
We do have Creative Cloud.
We never saw a limit.
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
reason I was
but
asking.
I think there must be a limit to it.
Because I think there must be a limit, because but still it's free.
Okay.
If ChatGPT is free and 4.0 is somewhat free, and
exactly.
so we can say even Adobe Firefly is.
Exactly. So,
but yeah,
what I
back to you.
plan to make is a LDM. It's a latent diffusion model.
Okay.
In a layman term, you can call it a image generator, and that too for a specific task, that is design making. I want to make a system wherein I just click a button and a random design is generated. So I would also want to incorporate prompts in it, but I think it's a little far-fetched for the time we have.
It is something, because you might have to integrate an LLM and an LDM.
Exactly. And for that, I would need a lot of processing power. Even if I somehow manage to get the data, which is very difficult in itself, because it is not easily accessible. But if I somehow manage to get the data, the system requirement is very high. What I find is that exactly.
The system is really, and we are fortunate enough that we have systems which at least have graphics card and all the stuff that we need, a better RAM than what we used to have in the past.
So the main
basically
purpose,
it will be built in public, right?
Right. And
we can say that.
I think we both aim to share all the weekly progress through this platform as well, that we are creating for ourselves and our community, that we get to share our project updates that could help you as well. And I mean, if anyone is interested to know every nitty-gritty of the project, they can ask for that as well. We can make a separate video for that as well. Anyway,
sure.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah.
Moving forward with that. So I would not bore the audience with the details of LDM, because okay, fine, it's an image generator. That's the crux of it. But what I find is the only thing I need to mention it is like my purpose for it. My purpose for it would be to, like, I'm targeting a small portion that is making designs from it, like abstract designs that could be incorporated anywhere. And if I am able to achieve that in a refined way, I would move forward and also try to generate more stuff from it. So as of now, I am going to use a stability AI, if anyone knows it. Well, that is the information I have right now, and we'll be researching more on it and we'll sharing it.
Yeah, guys, if you really want to know about these projects, please feel free to comment us down below, and we'll, as we said, we'll make a separate video for that, where we'll talk about one video for my LLM project, one video for his LDM project.
Yes,
because they are super interesting, and you can get insights on how a project is actually structured and how we work, even though that is not a big task. That that there are a lot of ways to structure a project, but yeah, the best way is like with creating an SRS and doing all this stuff. So yeah, so Rishit, so you mentioned that you'll be using it for abstract designing, right?
Right.
And what do you suppose is the ultimate purpose of this venture, this project that you have thought?
Okay. So my thank you for the question, Neelanjan. My ultimate goal from this project would be to try out this branch of AI as well. Plus, it would be to, of course, generate some good designs that I could later on post on my socials, like be it Twitter or my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
As well as I also aim to mold it in a way so that we could use it in our venture.
Sure. I suppose that can be done. Yeah,
right.
That can be.
Okay, Neelanjan, I had one more question related to our earlier segment. So I found most of our audience doesn't really know what all platform we stream on. Would you like to shed some light to all the platforms we stream on, and how did we come on that?
Sure. Why not? We stream on YouTube. That is our primary video podcast.
Right, video podcast.
Then our Spotify is our audio version of this podcast. And anyone who doesn't want to see our faces, or just cannot see our faces because they might be busy, you can just chime in with your Spotify account and just use your headphones or listen us on the car, on way of your wherever you're going on work or coming back from work. And we are active on Instagram, where we where we are basically working on clips and the main informations which I feel is required for anyone in our day and age, as a technology for technology and tech news and everything. So YouTube Shorts is as well. We are working on that, and later on we will also try to make more clips and more content from our episodes, from everything, from whatever the public demands. We will surely get that, and we will make sure it's delivered. And so let me repeat it once again: YouTube, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Again, you can hear us on YouTube Music as well. It has the audio podcast. Comment section is always open, and if we find you, we will surely, you can yell us at our personals as well, and we'll get back to you.
All the links will
be in the description. Yeah. So basically, this is the last episode where we talk about ourselves, and this is again the second. Yeah, majorly ourselves, and this is again an icebreaker episode. So the last part of set of questions that I have for us is what are your past projects, Rishit? Can you shed some light on that?
Thank you for that question, Neelanjan. Of course, I will not be sharing all my projects over here because it will get too long. So I would like to share some of the projects that I covered in my internship that I had in Geo Platform Limited. Well, the first project that I would like to share is the major project I've done, and that is the highlight of my profile right now. So in my latest internship in Geo Platform that I did in my summer break was a language converter named MZ converter. It's mediation zone converter, where basically it was a sort of a compiler where I followed the steps of compiler and I transformed a Java-like language on a syntax. So I would like to jump onto my screen.
Can you also share some information on that Java-like programming language you said?
Yeah,
before?
sure, Nandan. So first of all, coming to the MZ converter. Okay, so this is a project where we'll be discussing in detail. So like Nandan asked me the Java-like language. So as I mentioned, it is a mediation zone converter. First, I would like to shed some light on what mediation zone is. Mediation zone is a German software which big companies like Geo uses to convert their network elements to call data record. Okay, so I would illustrate that. So, of course, a telecommunication company cannot basically see and read who are we talking to. It has some elements it rely on that are network elements, and those network elements come together and form a call data record. The call data record later on comes to mediation zone, and mediation zone you can imagine it as a converter. Okay, so it converts the network elements, the call data record, into the billing system. So mediation zone is a data converter which checks the call data record and downstream it sends the data to billing system. So what my task was, it was to create a tool that converts the UDLF format to Golang. Now to the question that Nathan asked me, Java-like language. So the mediation zone software has a language named as the ultra format language. You can check it out in the description below. I will attach a link. It's basically a Atlassian link where if you type on Google digital routes mediation zone, you will find it. So mediation zone uses a language, ultra format language, which is the syntax is very much Java-like, and it basically it helps us to convert the elements as I said. Okay. So my task was to convert the UDLF elements to data elements. Basically convert the UDLF language to Golang syntax because Geo stack uses Golang as their major backend.
That is really interesting. I mean, if anyone wanted to know that what big companies like Geo, Airtel uses, we got one thing that Geo uses Golang. And Golang is a really good language. It is a very, very beautiful language that is low level, and I feel that it is a really big thing that we got to know about from this project. Continue.
Yeah, so as Neelanjan quoted, of course, Golang is a very beautiful language because it's a new language which is derived from C. Not basically derived from C. It works on the same level as C. Okay, so not extending it, I would like to talk about this project. So what I did here was, so I divided my project into 3 parts. First was a lexical analysis. Second was the AST generation. Okay, so those who have studied compiler construction must know the steps of building a compiler. So
Yeah.
my boss, who was Mr. Manish Gandhi, the senior vice president of Geo Platform Limited Gurugram office, told me that the data I will be dealing with won't need a semantic analysis, which is the for format checking.
Format checking.
Yeah, right. So I could directly jump to AST generations. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the major thing used here was classes and methods. And
Alright.
for my first step, which was the lexical analysis, I won't go into the code and all, but okay, fine. This is a huge ass code. Took over 1 month to build. So
also we use we have learned GitHub because that is really important in this day and age.
Right. If
Version control system has saved our asses so much.
Right.
Yeah. So continue. Yeah.
I still remember how much times do we need to roll back while we were in the okay. So cutting to a point where Neelanjan said, Git and GitHub really helped us in many projects that we did as a team. We had a team of 4.
It helps us a lot.
Right.
And that's one of the fundamental steps as a technical guy who is into development has to learn it.
Right. I agree.
Git is a version control system for those who don't know, and GitHub is a cloud platform, basically, you can say, or it is a place where you can store your data. People often get confused from Git and GitHub, so that's the basic difference. Yeah. So continue.
Also, I assume a question that could arise into our viewers could be, what all technologies do big companies like Geo use? So one thing I also learned while working over there is, I learned how a product is made and developed and delivered in a big tech company like Geo. So well, of course everyone knows about Docker.
Yeah,
if you don't know Docker. So Docker is of course not going into details. It is basically a technology wherein you can containerize all your work, so that I'm sure you must have heard of the term मेरे device पे नहीं चल रहा है. So
yeah, it is built on my device, so it will work on my device, but it is not working on someone else's device. So usually Docker helps that problem, solving that problem. What it does is it creates a snapshot for the whole OS and stores it in around a GB or 2 GBs of data, and that Docker data can be passed on. It basically it is an image, Docker image, and that Docker image can be made into containers, can be used in containers, Docker containers, and to run that we can then use we can basically give it on anyone's device, and usually they don't have to install any of the prerequisite requirements, and any other, like they don't even have to do npm I for anything in Merge stack or in JavaScript. So yeah, that is what Docker is, and Docker is really important. Again, it is the next step after Git. So yeah, continue, Rishit. We digressed a little, but it was really important. I think, to make our point.
Okay, so coming back to the embedded converter, so I would just sum it up fast, quickly.
No issues.
So well, after doing the lexical analysis using NLP, natural language processing, I used the NLTK module. Okay, so I generated the tokens from the corpus I had. So I had 84 files which I needed to convert to Golang. Well, there are some certain keywords which are a part of UDLF, which is external, internal, and many more. So my task was
which is very very common in any language. External, internal are keywords which Java uses, which JavaScript uses as well. They're not usually in external and internal, but they use static and client stuff, keywords like that. But yeah. the main basis was, I think, that you had to take out those keywords and tell that you had to give them new meanings for the Golang converter,
Right.
right?
So I'll just explain
Hmm.
that. So
Hmm.
my task, as I explained earlier, was to
Yeah.
convert the external data to
Hmm.
Golang and internal data to Golang. So
Okay.
after doing the lexical analysis, what I did was
Yeah.
I basically generated the AST based on the predefined data based on
Hmm.
digital routes on Atlassian.
What's the full form of AST? Abstract
Yes,
syntax
it's
tree,
abstract
right?
syntax tree.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, it is a brief description of what the thing is. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that it's a generalized way of
Hmm.
knowing this is what it is.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so
Makes sense.
well,
Makes sense.
after generating the AST, I have the leverage to. Okay, so why did I generate the AST? Why did I not just directly converted it to Golang? Was because
Hmm.
after I generated a AST based on the lexical tokens,
Hmm.
I could convert that to any language I want. I had the generalized idea of what that query is. Then, after that, having the generalized idea of that query, I can
Hmm.
convert that to any syntax. So, after successfully generating the ASTs,
Hmm.
I dipped into Golang syntax and basically added the syntax of every AST
Okay.
there is.
Hmm.
Basically, I took out the important data from AST and
Hmm.
well engraved it in the Golang syntax container, so that
Okay. Okay.
it is a generalized script which could uh, external and
Hmm.
internal keywords from UDLF files, and
Okay.
then
Okay.
it basically gives us a Golang format, and this runs on well my my task was to generate a API which
Hmm. An
uses
API.
post method, and we send UDLF data to the API.
Hmm.
It returns the Golang syntax.
All right.
So that
Okay.
was
That
achieved.
is really interesting because everything boils
Right.
down to an API that is a SaaS
Right.
that
Exactly.
can
Yeah.
be cooked.
Right.
That is just waiting to be
Hmm.
cooked. Yeah.
Well,
Huh.
so not taking too long, I would explain my second project as well. My second project
Yeah. Sure.
was
Sure.
in the
Sure.
company only. It was a very
Hmm.
small project. I did it in one day only. I had to
Okay.
generate
Okay.
a syntax highlighter for this UDLF because the company
Oh.
wanted
Okay.
to put this into open source so that everyone could see and collaborate to it. And
Okay. Okay.
well, yeah, I completed that with human code generator. You could find more about that on my LinkedIn or my YouTube
Hmm.
channel. And if you want,
Hmm.
we can make a video on this channel as well.
Sure, sure. I am all up for it because this is really interesting and this is something, this content, you will never get it anywhere.
Right, right. Even I
Uh,
did not have good sources for it.
ha,
Human code
ha.
generator is a very good tool, and I would like to stress upon it. Well,
Sure, sure. We
hmm.
can we can do that. We can do that.
The last project I would like to share would be the project I did in my first internship, which was also in Geo Platform Limited, and
Hmm.
it was a remote internship which I did in March to April. So
Hmm.
that project was a data visualizer. What I
Oh,
had to do
yeah.
is
Hmm.
I had to make a system which, first of all, I had to generate some pseudo data. The pseudo
Okay.
data further needed to be put down to a platform wherein
Hmm.
the user, the admin, has a great way to it. So the pseudo data
Okay.
was based on the real interactions of user on
Hmm.
my Geo app, and
Hmm.
the visualizer was basically a website, you can say it, that was
Okay.
built using Streamlit, which you can
Oh,
also find on
yeah.
my
Hmm.
LinkedIn and YouTube. and it uses and there was a combined view as well, which which had k-means clustering on various aspects of the data. For example,
Okay.
how long the user interacted, uh, how long the user interacted on a certain page, and that
Okay.
was it. So well, it was purely Python based, and I got to learn about k-means clustering and streamed it from that internship. And I think that will be all the projects I would like to share right now, because I think I've talked a lot, and I would like Neelanjan to talk about it. So Neelanjan, I would like to
Yeah.
ask you, what all projects
Yeah.
do you want to share?
So there are actually I cannot like Rishit. I don't have the GitHub permissions to show the project, because it is a working project. It is still working. Both of the projects. The other one is actually still working, but it's not in GitHub. It is in Bitbucket, because the organization uses Bitbucket instead of GitHub. And the first project that my latest work is basically I had to create 8 websites with a parent unified authentication, hand-rolled authentication, and the website was from an ashram, and that ashram can it is the ashram is located in Vrindavan. It is a really good. They really have good properties. We even went there, and I actually went there before, and
I see.
yeah. So the properties were, and they basically wanted to start courses on yoga and a marketplace for making courses for marketplace for courses with an LMS, and e-commerce marketplace for Ayurveda shop, an Ayurveda marketplace, and much more things which were to be disclosed later on. But unfortunately, my internship duration was completed, so I have just worked on the hand-rolled authentication part, where every website is deployed in its own EC2 instance.
I see.
And the front end and back end are in different EC2 instances. I have basically, this project has been really crazy, and we went all overboard on Amazon Web Services.
Okay.
So Amazon Web Services, we learned from cloud security to getting to know about new things like Postgres with DynamoDB. We did not use DynamoDB, but we used PostgreSQL for the backend database. Instead of MongoDB, we used instead of NoSQL, we used SQL, structured query language, which was something new and which was something fresh. And we used Drizzle ORM. Drizzle ORM is an ORM which helps us in understanding and creating a better environment, and creating things that MongoDB has natively for structured query languages like PostgreSQL, MySQL, and Oracle DB, anything which has SQL written on it. So my basic work was to build a hand-rolled auth, which basically means that all the 7 websites will have the same authentication system, a parent authentication system, where that person can have an teacher's ID as well as a user ID. And later on, we tried, and we even started creating a web page builder for that, for with the permissions. We worked on permissions, user roles. It was really crazy. The app was really crazy. We built out big SRS documentation.
Mm-hmm.
And projects like these, we need to make documentations, or else we will have zero track on stuff like this, because the project is still going and my internship has ended, but the project is still going.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like I have to write code in such a way that someone else can even read, and if they wanted to change stuff, they can change it.
Mm-hmm.
And we primarily worked on agile work environment,
Mm-hmm.
which is something really common these days.
Mm-hmm.
And agile work environment, for the ones who don't know, it is a it is type of a project where type of a project environment where there is a scrum master,
Mm-hmm.
and the scrum master basically decide how and what different people will do in that different with different jobs
Mm-hmm.
in a team.
All right.
And I was assigned with two of my two teammates,
Hmm.
and it was really good. Collaborating with them was really fun.
Hmm.
The other project that I worked, it's been a super while,
Hmm.
but I have also worked in application development, so in Java. And
Mm-hmm.
the second project was a running live project, and it was in production.
Hmm.
And later on, what happened that there were a lot of bugs.
Hmm.
So I was an intern there, a Mini Orange
Mm-hmm.
Incorporation. It was an offline internship. So I had a few months where I had to eliminate every bug in that application. So I had no clue on how to learn where to start for Android development, application development in Java. And this is the crazy part where can you switch back to there?
Sure.
Because I need your views as well.
Right.
That because software development and stuff like that, our work is as such that we are learning in every second.
We are.
In every new project, in every even a small new programming language can change your way of thinking in normally.
Right.
Like in Android, as I was continuing with my Android development thing, that I had zero clue on how to start, how to finish, and they wanted me to work on an app where it was already it was a live project, was in production. And obviously we had VCS, and that was the time where I had no idea what VCS was.
Right.
And because VCS is as I said before, it saves your app. You have your own copy of your work, of that work, and till your PR is merged, your work is isolated in your computer, and till then you can do anything you want.
Well, as
like
Neelanjan
anything.
said, I would like to validate what he said. Well, one takeaway which I, him, and each and everyone in our domain should know, even in every domain. I'll be talking informally. So, as he said, he did not know much about Java or the app-based environment he worked on. One thing our juniors, new in tech field, or even in a non-tech field students should know. Even if you have no knowledge in the field, just go for it. You can learn in the way. You can never have the appropriate knowledge for the project that you are going to work on. You just need to go work on it, because you do learn on the way. For example, as Neelanjan said,
in my case, I had to make my own app first to understand how Java actually works in Android development. Then I had to learn the way the architectures. There are 2 to 3 architectures in app development. It is really different from Mern stack or something which I had worked before. Web development and app development are really different. And it was a breath of fresh air for me at that point, because I have done web development since the 9th grade. because it was in our courses.
Right,
HTML,
same,
CSS, and
same.
JavaScript was in our course.
Right,
But app development is something that you need to install something different from, because HTML, CSS, JavaScript, everything is packaged in your computer as is. You don't have to install any new thing, any new
right.
dependency till Node arrive. But yeah, and app development only works in the JetBrains Android Studio, which is really fun. And I have a Mac, so and that was a little bit weird for me. But and also I had an Android phone which I had to hook it up with my Android Studio. It is something you will whenever you learn something new while you are in that internship training period, that is the time of your life. I mean,
Right.
and take it from me, guys. No, they will not even let you pass till you know their ways of work.
Right.
Everywhere you will learn. In after these few months, when we get placed in Accenture, Google, anywhere, we will have at least 6 to 8 months of training period.
Right.
Where we are basically, they in the IT business, they have an abbreviation that the higher ups say that we are PL. What does that actually mean? Potential liability. So potential, we are the ones who have to prove ourselves that we are not potential liabilities. We are not PLs. We are PAs.
Right. Assets.
Not the PA system. Potential asset.
Right. Right.
So that is really important for us. So that training period is where you have to work, and when you gain some experience, after that you'll understand that knowing languages, knowing about anything, any new technology or new way of coding something is not actually important for a job. The way of thinking is really important.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these two were my projects, and I don't want to bore with my personal projects, which if anyone is interested can ask us. Even
And
me
I
and
think-
Rishit have a lot of projects together. We can even share that one day.
Right. And I think Neelanjan would rather share his personal projects on his socials as well. You can go check him out.
I will. I am starting out my own content in my own YouTube channel and my social. So stay tuned for that as well. So I hope people will watch that. And,
I hope so. I hope so too.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So project showcases, I guess we are. Do you have any questions for me? Are there any other questions?
Well, I think we have shared a lot about our projects, but one takeaway from all the things we said and our initiative, do not hesitate while applying or working on something. Even we did. We had zero idea about making a podcast, but here we are. We just started it. So one thing I did take away from all the successful people out there, say just start with it. Just or in our case, just click record, and we did that. So we highly motivate you all that just take some time and go for it. You all need to be elevated in your own self, in your own eyes, and to achieve that, you need to go out and just start doing something. Do not give yourself excuses that I don't know this, I don't know that.
Before this, we all, I mean, procrastination is my middle name, but if I had to do something and I had a ticking time bomb at my around my ass, I would start doing stuff. So create small ways, small resolutions and small timelines where you complete stuff from like project, then learning stuff, certifications, anything. And also watching our podcast, because that is the way you got to know.
Please watch our podcast.
Please. So starting, the initiation part is really difficult.
Right.
But once you start, the only ways.
I totally agree with you, Neelanjan.
So that was our project overview and minor project section. So
Right.
let's shift our gears to our our latest pre-placement talk,
Yeah, like
Sekisho Corporation,
campus placements.
which will be arriving around next year, right?
Yeah,
In
so
our Amity University.
yeah, I think it will be arriving around January to February in a college.
Okay. So it just a little background to our viewers. Sekisho Corporation is basically a parent corporation where it has tied up with Amity University and other universities as well. I suppose, and it will bring us Japanese corporations, more Japanese corporations like Samsung, big Japanese corporations, Samsung, and some other. Oh my God. What do you what else do you have in mind, Rishit? One is Samsung. Samsung is actually Taiwan, but I think
well, I don't remember all the names names, but I know Sekisho Corporation is a
Panasonic. I remember they told that Panasonic might come in. So
Ikibara
basically,
Corporation, right?
So basically, big corporations are gonna arrive, and stay tuned for that as well. That we will cover them as we see fit. So what our main takeaway was from that pre-placement talk was we need to know at least C1 language of Japanese.
It's N5 in Japanese term. It's
N5.
N5, yeah.
So Japanese and their work culture was it was something that people were talking about a lot. What were your views on that?
Okay,
work
so
culture in Japan?
Thank you, Nandan, for that.
Yeah. No issues.
Sekisho Corporation, as Nandan quoted, is a corporation that brings us collaborated companies from Japan, so that we could go there and work for them. So Japan has a severe need for employees, so that they could work. As the mediator quoted, I still remember, Japan is good in hardware. They need people in software, and in India, being a company with prime software developers, they are turning towards India so that they could take some workforce from
India to Japan.
Yeah, exactly. So my key takeaway from Sekisho Corporation pre-placement talk was that, like, of course, as Nandan quoted, we need N5 level of Japanese, and they would be really happy if you have a N4 level as well. And plus, Japanese culture is very much particular about their language. Okay, they are very serious about the language that they speak. As in India, it's not we. Of course, there are many languages in India, but we are not very much particular to talk in our native language. It's majorly English.
That is true, because we have a different way of thinking than Japanese or English or anyone else. We feel that having a basic knowledge of English means that we are corporate ready, and we can strive for a good job. But it is the other way around for Japanese, because I have seen that in that pre-placement talk, they had no clue about English, and a mediator had arrived, who was Indian, and she was speaking whenever they had a Q&A session. So some of the people who were asking about work culture or some questions about their Japanese counterparts who have achieved great milestones.
Right.
And but achieving great milestones, but still they love their country so much that they never thought of language being a barrier.
Right.
So they embraced their own language, and they brought a mediator, a translator, instead of learning the language before coming to India. And I feel that their first response for for that I still remember someone asking what was some Japanese corporate guys first take on India, and it was that the roads were really dangerous. And
That was funny. Yeah.
so there's a lot of difference in their culture and our culture, but that does not mean that people are not willing to embrace our workforce there. They are very much willing. That's the reason they came to us. And anything else you want to add on, Rishit?
Well, the only thing I would like to mention now is that all the viewers or anyone who is willing to apply for a job in Japan
Yeah.
should get their basics cleared. Plus, they need to know Japanese. If you they quoted, if you have a good hold on Japanese, you are already ahead of a lot of people. So yeah, that will be all.
That is true. And also I've seen the translator also mentioned that if you are really extraordinary, like really extraordinary, but you lack the language skill of knowing Japanese, they are willing to take you there, even if you do not know Japanese, but you still have to learn it. It is a barrier that you have to pass.
Right.
And that is something that I found is a little rigid. Because usually someone doesn't force you to learn their language. Like if there are a lot of people outside of India, naming in UK or US, who know English, but they are still functioning there. There are a lot of people who can function well without knowing English. I mean, and age is not a factor there as well. So, but that was something really rigid that I found. That language is a big barrier that you have to cross, and they are not willing to basically cross that barrier. They are just there to give you an opportunity, which is fair. It is okay. It is fair that they are giving a work opportunity and giving you a lifestyle different lifestyle. So yeah, what are your further views on language? Because I feel that is something really different, which any other company will offer.
I think we mostly covered it all, but okay, so well, to just answer your question, I think Japanese is something you need to learn to get these jobs, and even if you want to get these jobs, you need to make sure that you are very well equipped in these languages, so that if you need to survive over there.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Moving forward, I would like to discuss about our profiles in management as well. So as we quoted in the last episode, we both are very active in our management side as well. So I would like to share some quick insights to it, because the episode is getting way too long.
Okay.
Some similar points. First, I'll quote. Me and Neelanjan were elected as a CR from the start, and we both were CRs for 1 year and 1.5 year.
Yeah.
We currently head a music club with our friend Aryan as well. We also conducted the cultural event in our college, which is Aura.
Yeah. That is basically that is our cultural fest. With that is the addition, and the main purpose of a cultural fest in our college is basically having a conference paper. So with that, and we found sponsors, we found new talent, so that we can get talent for entertainment for that for our Aura fest. And we created websites, we created a whole team, we managed numerous teams, PR team, then a developer team. I was heading the development team, which was responsible for the website. And from start to finish, I started in alone around June last year, and then it was in September. It was around September.
14
So
September, yeah.
before September, we had completed the deployment and everything. It was fully done with VCS, with Cloudinary, and I used a React app. It was a simple React app front-end app, and Cloudinary was used to store the last year's and this year's images and videos. So last year we worked on a lot of stuff. Then social media marketing, Rishit was on that. Rishit, can you elaborate on that?
Well, I would quickly sum it up. In the Aura, I led the cinematography team and the content creation, basically the video part of it. And we, I would plan it to be such that we were a part of a team and make a good team and work out with them. I think that would be
all. It was a really fun team, and it was a really fun time.
Yeah, right.
That even I was part in that team as well, but I was just there for the technical support there as well.
Well,
cameras and stuff. So yeah, but to sum it up, our brand kit was really fun, but we are cutting a lot of content because if we keep on going on brand kit and all this stuff, it'll take us a long while to actually complete the podcast.
So I would sum up what Neelanjan was trying to say.
Can you show the sticker? Have you got that?
Right.
Have you got that?
So right. So our PR, we tried to increase the PR as much as we could. So as you know, we got our mugs printed with the logo generated through AI. To be specific,
totally AI.
To be specific, Copilot. You know what? I have the chat history to that as well. I can share it.
Can you show that? That would be really
sure. Yeah. So
because people can get to know the process and how we actually worked on it.
So we started with a logo like this.
This was our initial idea for coffee because we love coffee.
Edging it out to these, and finally we got our logo. The tech owl thing was something was an idea where we do symbolize with the tech owl, like as we are in a tech field plus we work in the night. So that's how our tech owl came from. And talking about the sticker, as Neelanjan told you guys, so these are the same stickers that we got on the cup, and that was it.
That was it. Hey, can you show that? Oh, Microsoft. So that brings us to our next our next topic, Microsoft's outage on because of CrowdStrike, right?
Right. So I would want you to share more on it.
What I heard is that it was basically a kernel process, and someone actually knew. I mean, they were memes on it that someone new joined in and posted something on LinkedIn or X or Twitter, where they said that it's my new first day on CrowdStrike, and I just my PR just got merged, and just then the outage started. I think CrowdStrike's stock plummeted as well, and places like New York City's Times Square and more places where Windows 10 was basically being used had major outage.
Well,
and it was a kernel access problem.
mhm,
So it was something related to Azure's attestation service.
mhm,
Yeah. So Azure's attestation service,
mhm,
and that created some bang on the Windows 10 Pro model,
mhm.
I guess. So what else do you know about?
So I don't have a detailed analysis of it. I just mentioned
Mhm.
we just mentioned it because of course it was a big thing in our field. So all I
Yeah.
know is that half of the world were facing this problem. The world practically stopped because
Mhm.
major uh, major companies, be it major services, be it
Mhm.
airports or any stores and all, uses Microsoft to be their OS. And uh,
Yeah.
well, this outrage really stopped the our life cycles and all the personnel who were
Mhm.
taking this route. So that
Mhm.
was all I know on this, and I think it was sorted in a matter of a day, right?
Yeah, it did. It did because the CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz
Mm-hmm.
uh, had apologized for the disruption,
Mm-hmm.
and
They had to.
because 97% of the computers with Windows operating system were disrupted.
Hmm.
That was something really. I mean, airports where the ATC had problems as well, and
Hmm.
that is really dangerous. I mean, I would not want to be the person on that plane
Hmm.
who had issues with that ATC problem. Yeah. So we are we are not going to talk about it much because it's the problem. They created the problem and they solved it
Hmm.
really
Hmm.
fast. But yeah,
Well,
so that was
that
it
was it.
from
So,
Microsoft.
coming to the last section of our podcast, which we will try to accommodate more in our podcast, would be
Sure,
daily AI.
sure. Yeah.
So, I would like to share today's daily AI. According to the news, while we are filming it,
Yeah.
uh, OpenAI is currently working on certain features, many things.
Hmm.
It released 4.0 Mini, wherein you
Yeah.
pay for
Ah,
certain queries. That I
okay.
remember for the quotes I remember from the website of OpenAI
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
for using 4.0 Mini, 1 million input prompts would cost you around about 20 cents,
Oh,
and output 1 million prompts would cost you around about 60 cents. And
all right.
that's the crux of knowledge I have. And one more thing I got to know about OpenAI was it is currently
Hmm.
working on a search AI as well, which as
Okay.
many users were keen to know, like,
Hmm.
can we not search on web using ChatGPT and all? So my friend,
Hmm.
now you probably can, not
Oh, that
currently.
is really interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You probably could do that in the future. So whenever
Yeah.
I find these pieces to be working, I would love for us to try that out and for you to try that out as well.
Hmm.
Anything you would
Yeah,
like to share?
because Google right now is using Gemini. If you are in the experimental version of Google,
Hmm.
which I think is pretty much there. Everyone is using
Mm-hmm.
getting that generative AI corpus in the start of every
Mm-hmm.
search,
Mm-hmm.
every major search. Not every search because Gen AI cannot work in every search.
Mm-hmm.
They have some limitations right now,
Hmm.
and I would really love Chat GPT's. I mean, Chat OpenAI to be integrate a search engine
Right.
with their Chat GPT because that can be a game changer. That is
Right.
something which is equivalent to Gemini's. I mean, Google's Gemini
Mm-hmm.
and normal search engine,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, Google has been working as a search engine since 2000. I mean, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So that is some. It cannot kill it, obviously, but
Hmm.
it is somewhat a new place to
Hmm.
learn and new place to get information.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I think
that is good.
that was all of the points we wanted to share in today's podcast.
So yeah,
Thank
that
you
was
for
all for
tuning in with us today. And if you are watching till here, thank you very much. It must be a very
Yeah.
long episode when we
Yeah, I
posted
feel
it.
this will be a long one.
Right.
We will emphasize on the content which we actually intend to make.
Hmm.
That is on tech, news, and our takes on stuff
Hmm.
which
Our
which
placements.
placements which are
Well.
really crucial right now.
Mm-hmm.
And placements, we have a lot to discuss on that.
Right.
Yeah,
So
placement.
on that note, I would like to end this podcast. And thank you for watching. Cheers.
Cheers.